Hi, I'm Kitty Blintfield. Welcome to my channel. I'm 42 years old, and in this short video, I just wanted to share a bit more about myself and why I'm qualified to help you get the body and health you want. I know there are so many fitness gurus out there and you have so many choices as to who you spend your valuable time listening to. I appreciate you being here and want to give you some insight into my life, the path I've followed, and what has led me to where I am today. So I pretty much cycled through quick fix diets for 17 years of my life. I started my first diet when I was 17 years old. I also started drinking at a very young age, and I partied hard and took a lot of drugs. So I think a lot of my dieting came from my body image issues. So I went out and slept with a lot of men, and I validated myself through having sex with men. So I thought if I could just be skinny, then I would find someone to fall in love with me. So I pretty much cycled through shake diets. I did isogenics for 12 months. I did keto, I did every protocol of fasting. There was a drug that you could take where you would poo out any fat you ate. I took that, I took Duramine. You name the diet, I've done it. So basically I would lose weight and I would stay at a lower weight for as long as I could stick to the diet. And then eventually I would just fall off the wagon and I would binge eat, and I would have these crazy intense sugar cravings. And you know, I remember sitting there on Sunday nights eating and eating and eating pretty much until I felt sick. And I would just think, it's okay, Kitty, because you can start again Monday. And this cycle pretty much just repeated itself from the age of 17 right up until I was 34 years old. So I would lose weight and I would gain weight, I would lose weight, I would gain weight, and I was just completely obsessed with food. And so, you know, I had that sort of weight loss and then weight gain, but I also experienced a lot of health issues. So I had really bad cycles, so painful and irregular. I had a miscarriage, I had some polyps removed, I had really shitty sleep, so I'd wake up constantly, really low energy, my hair ended up falling out, I had no sex drive, and I was just super moody. So then I got married, and I still continued to do these diets right throughout my marriage. I even competed a couple of times because I thought that those girls looked so beautiful and so lean, and it was just a good way for me to restrict. So after the second time that I competed, my binge eating was at its absolute worst. I remember working on a mine site and I would starve myself all day, and then I would go into the mess hall at night and eat and eat and eat until I felt sick. I ended up taking laxatives and I would make myself throw up. So eventually I got divorced, and then I just got back on the cycle of restrictive diets again, you know, thinking that if I lost weight and got skinny, I would be happy. I drank a lot, I took a lot of drugs again, and you know, I got down to about probably 54 kilos. So I was tiny, but I was absolutely miserable. I also got breast implants. So, you know, I got divorced thinking, oh, I always hated my boobs. They were a bit saggy. Looking back now, they were perfectly fine. And I got these huge implants. And I actually remember a few weeks later sitting in my room and just being in so much pain and thinking, I still feel so sad. So that wasn't long after I got divorced. So the turning point for me was about 6 months after I got divorced. So I was partying hard, I was drinking, I was working on site at a mine site, so doing FIFO, so I'd do 7 on, 7 off. And it was a really intense and challenging job. And one of the step up supervisors actually complained to my boss about me and said that I wasn't focused. And so he basically sat me down and said, Kitty, if you don't get your shit together, I'm gonna fire you. You've just got divorced, you know, you're a beautiful, young, attractive woman, you've got your whole life ahead of you, and yeah, basically, if you don't get it together, I'm gonna fire you. So that really scared me, and I remember going back to my room on site and just crying and just thinking, oh God, I just hate my boss. But looking back now, I'm super grateful to him, because it was that conversation that really actually did make me get my shit together. So I thought, all right, that's it, Kitty. You know, you just keep doing all these crazy restrictive diets. So I went out and started researching on metabolic health and hormones and cycle issues. And I came across my now business partner in Saturée, Emma. And I remember reading a blog of hers called Defending Fruit and Other Non-Complex Carbohydrates, and all these light bulbs were going off, because I thought, oh my goodness, I completely cut carbs, I cut sugar, I binge eat all the time. You know, this is basically the opposite of what the fitness industry is telling me, but it intuitively made so much sense. So I emailed her and I said, look, I have to work with you. Everything I'm reading is just blowing my mind. And you know, I am one of the women that you talk about in your blog posts. And so I started working with Emma, And then I also went out and bought every single book that I could find on men, because I just had this terrible track record with men and attracting the wrong type of men. And I remember reading this book, The Catch, and you know, if you follow me for a while, you'll know that I'm an all-in girl. So I did everything in the book, and then 30 days later I met Craig. So Craig taught me all about strength training, you know, activity levels, tracking macros, tracking biofeedback markers. Emma taught me more about human physiology and how I should eat to support my hormones and my metabolism, and that all of the things that I thought, you know, were the devil, like carbs and dairy and sugar, were actually good for me and were going to support my metabolism. So what they taught me transformed my body and health. So I started building muscle, I got strong in the gym, I fell in love with strength training, I actually ended up competing in powerlifting, my cycles became regular and pain-free, I started sleeping through the night, I had more energy, my hair stopped falling out, my skin was glowing, and I stopped binge eating, and I finally felt like I had food freedom and that I could enjoy food again. I also stopped the excessive drinking and the partying, which was amazing. I think Craig was a super good influence on me. And you know, strength training, eating more food, changing my body composition really helped my self-worth. And I think that's also one of the great things about strength training and why I love it so much, is I think that it just really builds your confidence in and out of the gym. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing it with women. So basically, it transformed my body and health so much that I decided to leave my job in mining, and Craig and I opened a gym. So we actually bought in with an old coach of mine. After about 6 months, we bought her out and we rebranded it to New Strength, so it's nutrition and strength. So we did the gym thing for about 3 years, worked with thousands of women and men, and just basically developed and refined our methodology around strength training and pro-metabolic nutrition. So after doing that successfully for about 3 years, we had a choice to make. Do we open more gyms or do we build an online program? And I just felt really drawn to building a program for women. So I wanted to help women just like me, and that was how the online program was born. And the reason that we named it Win at Life is because there's this beautiful client in our gym, Katie, and I still keep in contact with her. And she came in, she had used to do ballet, so she had body image issues, you know, the under eating, then the binge eating, cutting out carbs, similar story to mine. And she got incredible results in the gym. She, you know, transformed her health, transformed her body, and, you know, rebuilt her relationship with food, and you know, just got her confidence back and trained for performance rather than punishing herself just like I used to do. And anyway, we were in the gym one day and she said to me, you know, Kitty, I've never had a framework like this that really helped me win at life. And that's why we named the program Win at Life, and that's how it was born. So we designed and developed the coaching program, and since then we've literally worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of women, so in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and even 70s. So we've got a client in our program who's 72, which is so amazing. And we've helped them not only lose weight, build muscle and improve their body composition, but we've helped them improve their hormonal imbalances, so cycle issues, perimenopause issues, menopausal issues, digestive issues like bloating, constipation, IBS. We've improved their sleep, their energy, their sex drive, their skin quality, their hair quality, and just help them get really healthy and build their confidence again. We've also empowered them and given them the skills and the knowledge and the tools so that they can achieve their body and health goals in a healthy and sustainable way, and they never ever have to do another restrictive diet again. So if you've listened this far, thank you. It blows my mind every single day that I have such an incredible community of women to share my knowledge with and who are interested in what I have to say. I'm just a typical Aussie bogan from the Gold Coast at heart, with an important message and a strong voice to share it. So I'd love it if you subscribed and come back time and time again to hear why it's possible to eat more, train less, and get the body and health you want.